Good morning. Thank you for joining me today at VirtualPBX admin training. This is training for our Dash platform, which was released in 2016. If you're a vConsole customer, which has been around since the late 90s, the training for that is actually, we don't have live training for that any longer. However, you can get a recorded training under support and then vConsole support. And then this is the training right here on the far right hand side, excuse me. That's the full training for an admin for vConsole. For Dash, which is what we're going to be going over today, we also do have recordings as well, and that's this first one here on the left. All right. So to log in anywhere on any VirtualPBX web page, you can click on login at the top, and you'll get to our general login page. The first login is for Dash. The second login here, this is for the web phone, which is a device that's specific for use on Dash. And at the bottom here, you have the vConsole login. But for now, we're going to go ahead and hit Dash. It opens up a new tab. Logging in needs your email address, your password, and then your account name, which is normally your business name. Can be your name if you signed up just for yourself. And then you click on sign in. And then the system will take you to dashboard. Dashboard is just a snapshot of your system and its current status. Users, these are your full-featured users. They make and receive calls. They have things like call forwarding. They can make use of hot desking. They can use VoIP phones, cell phones, landlines, what have you. Agents, these are specific to ACD queues, and these are people who typically are just taking calls or receiving calls or answering calls that are coming into a queue. They can only make use of VoIP devices. So a soft phone or a physical VoIP phone or the web phone also counts as a VoIP device. But they don't have any of the call forwarding features or hot desking, that sort of features. Down here, we have your devices on the system, and then the breakdown, and then unregistered. This usually means the phone isn't connected to us, or the system doesn't know if it's connected to us. So like a cell phone or landline will typically come up under unregistered. The main thing concern is the SIP phone and web phones, and the soft phones actually. If they're connected to us, they shouldn't be part of this unregistered number. Main numbers, these are your main company numbers. These numbers all act the same way. They have the same greeting. They all route the same way. Your fax box number, this is for where you receive your faxes. And then total numbers on the account. Assigned numbers means these are numbers you're using, i.e. they're taking calls. And then spare numbers are numbers you have in your account, but you're not using in some fashion, meaning you wanted to hold on to them for whatever reason. And then a further split here between US local numbers and then US toll-free numbers. Company directory, you can download this so everyone has their extensions. The account ID, this is actually your account number. You could use that in communication with us, although we don't expect you to rattle that off when you call, if you need to call into support or our billing teams. You normally would just ask you for your company name. And then the account realm, you use this for sending out faxes, and you have to have a fax box number to send out faxes, or for programming a third-party device, so a soft phone from a different company, or if you're going to use a VoIP phone that isn't auto-provisionable, you would use a third-party soft phone to program that phone, and you would use our account realm for that. Up here at the top, we have the company caller ID. You do want to have this set. Every now and then, when it doesn't get set, people have trouble making outbound calls, especially from a VoIP device. This is your company caller ID name. So this is when you make an outbound call. and this is a name that will transmit out. Now, one thing about the caller ID name is that this is basically hosted by several servers by several different carriers across the country. Unfortunately, not every carrier supports caller ID name. So if a call happens to route through one of those carriers, the caller ID name won't go down further down the stream, right? It'll basically stop at that point. Some other concerns about caller ID name is if the data gets corrupted in some fashion, maybe a carrier is having maintenance or something like that. Again, that information won't make it to the end user or the recipient of the call. And then the last, although fairly minor, if you happen to be calling someone who already has your phone number programmed into their, say, their cell phone, for example, their cell phone label will take precedence over anything we send. All right, and then down below here we have the company emergency E911 address. So from VoIP phones, when you pick up and dial 911, this is the address we're going to, by default, be transmitting to emergency services. So you do want to make sure this is correct and updated. Hold music, this is going to be your default hold music. You can upload a file from your computer. The system will accept .wav, or .mp3. The main thing to remember about any media file you upload, it needs to be in mono, not stereo. Typically, I default to using 16-bit PCM, that's Paul Charlie Mike encoding, but the main thing is that to make sure it's in mono. All right, now this is ours here is also under main number, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on main number. Again, here you see all your company numbers. You can assign additional ones from your spare numbers to be a main number, or if you want to buy a number. Local, you would enter in an area code. So we'll say 703, for example. And then you would click add, and then you'll click by number, and that would add it to your account. Toll free is similar. You choose one of the prefixes, and it'll show you what's available. Little gear icon here. This allows you to adjust the settings, so like the E911, caller ID. Prepend, this is for VoIP phones only. So when a call comes in to one of your main numbers and you have prepend active, you can add additional text in front of the caller ID. So this lets you and your staff know some additional information about what the customer is or what they're calling about. Basically an additional heads up. Office hours strategy, basically your business hours. Most people would choose custom office hours. Default is 24-hour open office. Put a check mark next to each day of the week that you're open. And then put your open hours in military or 24-hour time. And then if your whole office is closed for lunch, you can do this here. Put a check mark here and then indicate your lunch hours. And then click Save Changes. Office holidays, you can set your holidays in advance. Anything with a stable date, like 4th of July, you can just leave and forget about it from year to year. But anything like Memorial Day, where the date will change, you're going to have to come back in and adjust it every year. And then the main other caveat is you can do a date range. So like this one here, vacation. However, for the New Year's holiday, you're going to want to do the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day separately as individual days. The system errors out and basically puts you in closed from as soon as you add a date range that includes the new year. And that's mostly because you don't have an option to add a year. All right, next we have incoming call handling. So this is how your main numbers are handling calls, right? First option here, call comes in, goes to virtual receptionist. You can click on this, it's going to open up a new little window. And then you have two sides here. On the left here is your main menu. So this is where you tell the system, what does pressing 1 do? Okay, I'm sending it to this ring group here, Borderlands info. Press 2 is going to support. 3 is going to Ray. 4 goes to the directory. 5 is going to Ray's voicemail. And then 7 is going to David. And you can always add routes. And then choose from users, call queues. We don't typically recommend going to devices or media, just because it's kind of abrupt in terms of when it ends. And then you can choose a group. Now over here on the right, this is your greetings. Text to speech, you basically just type it in, hit update, and it's ready to go. If you already have a file you want to use, again, it could be .wav or .mp3. You would just find the file on your system and then upload it. If you already have many existing greetings here, you can choose that. Record it over the phone. In this case, the system is expecting you to use a VoIP phone that's already on the system. And in fact, if you ever see this kind of term, a phone registered or a registered phone, that the system saying it has to be a VoIP phone. But then you would call into the main number, and then you'll enter this PIN number to get in. Now, if you already have a greeting in place and you want to change the greeting later, when you hear your greeting, you can type in this PIN, and then it'll let you re-record. Lastly, you have Professional Studio. We've actually partnered with another company called Snap Recordings. And this takes you to their page for us. Basically, they have something like 100 different voices to choose from in terms of voice talent. They have different versions of English. They have Spanish. They have French. They have bilingual. And then they have other different packages. So this is just their standard greeting, so just voice prompting. This would be a message on hold, which you can mix with a script, right? So you have music playing, and then a message comes on. Music starts playing again. They handle their own billing and their own delivery. They do have options for rush delivery as well. And then they email you the file, and then you can upload it. Next up here, we have another call routing route. Basically, a call comes in. You can have it go to a user. Again, you can go to a device, a group, and then to the virtual receptionist. So this is a case where you want staff members to have a chance to answer the call. If no one's able to pick up, then your caller goes to the virtual receptionist, so then they can enter an extension number or another menu option. And then this last one, again, same options in terms of users, groups, queues. And then if no one picks up, you can have it go to a voicemail box is the typical. And then this one, you also have the option, you can just have it go straight to voicemail. So like if you're a small office operation and you're going on vacation, the office is closed, that would make sense. All right, looks like no one has shown up, so I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast.